In this lesson, we're going to learn how to import a model into our Lumion scene. To begin, over toward the left-hand side, the third button down, you'll see something that looks like a little floppy disk. And this floppy disk button is called the Import button. And if you click on it, you'll see all four different options that are available to us. Import is the one that we want. After selecting on that, you'll see another icon that looks just like this floppy disk down below. And it's called Add a New Model. Click on that button. From here, make sure to go to your desktop and working files. And the model we want to load in is going to be called commercialmall-lumion.dae. So highlight on that. You can either hit open, or what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to select on where it says object file. And I want to point out that this also has the ability to bring in three-dimensional AutoCAD files, which are DWGs, DXFs, FBX files, which is a new kind of file type that Autodesk programs can export, SketchUp files, 3D Studio Max files, and a variety of other kinds of file types. But in this case, this .dae is the kind of file type that's easy to export out from another Autodesk software program, Revit, and that's what we're going to be bringing in. Will be a Revit building as well as a Revit site. Now that we have this selected, click on the Open button. It's going to ask, what do you want to name this? And what this means is if we want to import this object in multiple times, it'll give it a name and we'll be able to pick this object based off of the name. Commercial Mall Lumion works fine for me, so we're going to come down here and click on the check mark to add this to the library. Next thing that we want to do is place this somewhere. Now the exact location of this doesn't really matter so much to me. Just make sure that you have this arrow that's going up and down right now pointed somewhere kind of in the middle of your screen like this, and then click to place your building in. Now we're standing inside of this building that we just brought in, and if you spin the wheel on your mouse, you'll be able to scroll backwards to eventually get out of your building. And if you keep spinning the wheel backwards on your mouse, which is towards you, you'll be able to keep scrolling out. If you want to scroll in, you can spin that wheel on your mouse forwards. If you want to go to the left or to the right, on your keyboard, you can either use the arrow keys. The left arrow key, of course, takes you to the left. The right arrow key takes you to the right. You also could use the up arrow key to go forward or the back arrow key to go backwards. Another thing that you could do is use the letters on your keyboard. So if you used A, that'll take you to the left. D will take you to the right. W will take you forward. And S will take you backwards. Finally, if you right-click with your mouse and hold that right-click button down, you can look up or look down to begin to look around your model and see what you've placed. Now, the next thing I'd like to do is right now we're looking at a bunch of grass here where the parking lot surface should be. So I'd like to move this model up just a little bit so that we can see our actual parking lot surface. So to do this, the next thing we want to do is making sure that this floppy disk is still showing up here. We'll then come over here to where it looks like a little pencil tool, and this is called Edit Properties. Click on that Edit Properties button. When you do, you'll see this symbol here in the middle of your screen, and there'll be a white dot. Click on that white dot to activate this object. This is going to be the object whose properties we want to adjust. After clicking on that white dot, you'll see an X, Y, Z position. In the case of this project, the Y position will control the up and down. Here where it has Y and it says 0 point, change this to 0.1 and see what happens. When you do, you'll see the entire building, the entire imported object will raise itself up. And this works for any imported object in Lumion. If you select on the object, go to its properties, click on the little white dot, you can then adjust its exact location on site by going to the X, Y, and Z of the project. And that's the process to bring in a Revit or AutoCAD or any kind of model into Lumion.